Hey everybody, Abe Brown here with the Health Through Healthy Wise coaching program. I'm absolutely thrilled to be bringing to you right now episode number 4 of September Success. Many of you know that as the month of September started, I began sharing a series called September Success, how we can finish 2019 strong. Why I'm doing this is because many of you have expressed to me, hey Abe, I came into 2019 with all kinds of vision, all kinds of dreams, all kinds of passion, and then life hit me. Business hit me, relationships hit me, challenges hit me, adversity hit me. And so how can I finish 2019 strong? I don't want to give up my vision. I don't want to give up my dreams. I don't want to be overwhelmed by the challenges of this moment. I want to go all the way and fulfill the vision and the dream and the destiny that I have. So how can I do that? And so we've been taking this word success and we've broken it down into some principles that you can share. And I'm shooting this video from my lovely office. You can see my stand-up desk right there where I get all the work done. And of course, it's where I make it happen. This is my office here in Calgary. And so we've taken that word success and we've broken it down. We're breaking it down into essentially, several different principles that can help us. The S, the first S, stands for shift your mindset. You will not be able to change your destiny or your future or frankly, even your today until you change your mindset. And so we talked about changing your mindset. The second video we looked at was uncover what's holding you back, because we need to understand and uncover the stuff that's holding us back. The third thing that we saw that we needed to do is we needed to clarify what really matters. So you've got to understand your who, you've got to understand your what, you've got to understand your why, and you've got to understand your how. Now, if you're wondering where are these videos, you can just go to my YouTube channel, Abe Brown, Author Speaker Coach on YouTube. Abe Brown, Author Speaker Coach. Just look me up there, subscribe to my channel. You'll see all of these videos right there. And I do encourage you to check them out because what we're talking about is finishing 2019 strong. Now I want to share with you the fourth episode right now, the fourth principle that we need in order to finish 2019 strong and in order to have success in the month of September and October, November, and December. And that is C, cultivate relationships that lead to opportunities. I'll say that again, cultivate relationships that lead to opportunities. Now, there was a Harvard professor of psychiatry who ran the longest running study of mental health that's ever been done in the world. Over 40 years, professor of psychiatry ran a study on mental health. And do you know what he said? He said, in the end, the only thing that matters when it comes to mental health is your connections and your relationships to other people. I can't say enough about how important it is in terms of you to fulfill your destiny and me to fulfill mine, that we have the right relationships and connections within our lives. You see, your destiny is not a solo project. To fulfill your destiny, you need partners. It's critical that we meet and partner with the right people. You see, your potential is about your partners. Your future is about your friends. And so if you want to fulfill your potential, you need the right partners. If you want to have that awesome future, then you need to have friends, because at the end of the day, we become like the 5 or 10 closest people that we have in our lives. And so if that's actually true, and I believe it is, then what we need to do is pay attention to the type of relationships that we're cultivating within our lives. And today, they actually tell us that a 4x4 relay team runs the mile about 4 seconds faster than an individual runner. So I want you to, picture a race. You've got one guy running all by himself, solo team, trying to make it happen all by himself. And then you've got a relay team racing against that same guy. Relay team, there's 4 of them. They're running the same distance, but it's 4 people running it rather than just one. And that 4 team beats the guy who's trying to do it alone. Why? Because there's power in a team. I got to tell you this, folks. So many times we fail, not because we're failures, but because we're trying to do it alone. I love the story of the legend of Cultivate. I like the name for one thing. Cultivate sounds pretty cool. How cool would that be, having a name like that? But I'll tell you one thing about Cultivate is he was a man of wisdom. So he, essentially brought kind of the nation of Bulgaria together before his time. It was a countryside of sort of warring tribes. He brought all the tribes together under one. And as he was on his deathbed, he asked for all of his sons to be brought into his bedroom. Here he was on his deathbed. And to illustrate the power of unity, what he did is he asked his sons, he gave each of his sons a stick, a piece of wood. And he said to his sons, you know what, you can break the stick. And so go ahead and break it. And so of course they did it. But then what he did is he bundled together about a dozen sticks and he said, now break that. And of course, even though his sons were strong and they were fully grown men, none of them could break the bundled sticks. Why? Because there is power in unity. And Concubrat said unity makes strength. And that is still on the Bulgarian coat of arms to this day. When you think about your life, you as a stick, all by yourself, you don't have any power. But when you cultivate relationships and you connect and you bundle together with other people, I can tell you that you become exponentially more powerful. You run faster, you run further, and you accomplish more when you get around the right people. But when you get around the wrong people, of course, what happens is you actually see your destiny begin to diminish. I'll tell you what, having the right network gives you net expertise, it gives you net contacts, it gives you net strength, it gives you net stability, it gives you net power, it gives you net resources, it gives you a net advantage, and it gives you net worth. In the end, so many times our network determines our net worth. And why is that? Well, because you got to have contacts in order to make contracts. And so a lot of us are trying to accomplish our destiny alone. My encouragement to you is to cultivate relationships that lead to opportunities. So how do you do that? Let me give you 3 principles here right now. 3 simple principles. Cultivating relationships that lead to opportunity. Number 1, you've got to look. Okay, so this is the first thing. You got to look. What do I mean by look? You've got to look at your current relationships. So look at them, and start to do an inventory in your current relationships of the movers and the shakers that you know. Who are the movers, the connectors, the high-level people, the shakers in your life? How many of you think that's important, right? You've got to do an inventory. You know, the research actually shows that every one of us has about 50 valuable contacts. Now, you may have hundreds and maybe even thousands of contacts, but out of all of those hundreds or thousands, only about 50 are really valuable. So I would encourage you to sit down and write out your list. Who are your 50 most valuable contacts? Now, you know, every human being has value, but not every human being is going to bring business value into your life. Not every human being is going to bring destiny value into your life. They have value inherently, but not every single one of them is going to help you to fulfill your purpose and your destiny. So I want you to make a list of the 50 most valuable contacts in your network who will help you fulfill your destiny. The second thing you've got to do is you've got to leverage. So once you've looked at this and made this list, the second thing you got to do is you got to leverage it. Now, what does the word leverage mean? Leverage means to make the most out of. I mean, you can have something in your life, and if you don't leverage it, what that means is you don't make the most out of it. What I'm encouraging you to do is not only look and make this list, but think about how do I leverage it. Now, leveraging is not about you going up to them and begging them, oh, please give me something. Oh, please, would you give me some money? Oh, please, would you do this or that? I think most of us would agree that that's the wrong approach, right? Of course, that's going to turn people off. How you leverage a relationship is by looking at how you can contribute to it. You know, it's funny, as a coach, you know, I'm blessed. I, you know, get to travel the world speaking and impacting people's lives, and people, you know, pay me hundreds of dollars an hour to work with them and to lend them my expertise and my wisdom. Sometimes I'll get people sort of randomly just messaging me, people that I don't know, people that we don't have any contact with, and they'll say, you know, hey, I'm following you. I think you're great. Could you mentor me? You know, and of course, what they will follow up is they'll say, I don't have a lot of money. I can't pay for your services. Now, hey, I've been there. So number 1, that's the starting point. I've had times in my life where I had nothing. And so I'm super empathetic when people are reaching out and they're saying, hey, I don't have anything. Would you help me? Would you support me? But the funny thing is, sometimes people reach out and they say, hey, will you help me? Will you support me? But they just want you to give something rather than adding something to the equation. Now, you might be a person who thinks, well, hey, I don't have anything. What can I give? But you always have something to give. And so, when I didn't have anything to give, I remember reaching out to a mentor, and I remember saying, hey, would you mentor me? But in exchange for that, this is going to surprise some of you, but I literally said, I'll cut your grass, I'll wash your car, I'll do little errands for you, because if I'm asking you to take your time to mentor me, I don't have money to pay you with, but I've got time, and I can take some things off of your plate, like cutting your grass and washing your car and making your life a little easier. Now, I'm not telling you to go do that. What I'm saying is, you're not going to have people want to pour into your life unless you are willing to pour into theirs. So many times we want people to give to us. Listen, the universe doesn't work that way. The way the universe works is through sowing and reaping. That means you've got to sow a seed, you've got to plant a seed if you want to get a harvest. It's unreasonable and it's irrational to be looking for a harvest if you haven't planted any seed. And so I would encourage you, if you're looking to, look at your list of relationships and then leverage it. How do you leverage it? By looking to give, looking to add value. I'll tell you, those are the greatest people, is those who want to add value to our world. And so the first thing you got to do, if you want to cultivate these relationships, you got to look. The second thing you got to do is leverage it by giving back. The third thing you've got to do is you've got to have loyalty. Now, I'm going to say something here, and I hope you'll take it the right way, because it's coming to me, it's coming from the right place in my heart. But sometimes we're trying to cultivate relationships. And I've even had people say, geez, I'm lonely. I don't seem to have any relationships in my life. I don't seem to have any connections in my life. And yet, when you dig deeper, they actually haven't been very loyal in their relationships. They have sometimes not been there for people when they've needed them. Sometimes they have even stabbed people in the back, or gossiped about them, or thrown them under the bus. And they wonder why, when they're in a moment of need, that they are not surrounded by help and surrounded by support. I got to tell you this, folks. J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of the Lord of the Rings series, The Hobbit, all of that, he said this: faithless is he that says farewell when the road darkens. I'm going to say that again. Faithless is he. In other words, they have no faithfulness when they say see ya when the road gets dark. I know that if you're watching this video, I think you would agree with that what good is a friend who leaves you when it gets dark, when it gets scary, when it gets difficult, when adversity comes? If you're going to cultivate these relationships, you've got to have loyalty within your life. You've got to have the capacity to stand with somebody. There's an Arab proverb that I've quoted many times and I love. It says this: it's worse, far worse, to have one enemy inside the tent than 1,000 outside. I just love that. So, in other words, you can face anything on the outside so long as someone on the inside isn't stabbing you in the back. And so if you want to cultivate these relationships that are going to lead to opportunity, you've got to have some loyalty. You've got to have some stickability. You've got to be a person who doesn't get involved in drama. You've got to be a person who doesn't get involved in throwing people under the bus. You've got to be somebody who sticks by people. And, I got to tell you that I went through something in the last year or so in my life, and I'm so grateful that in my place of darkness, I was absolutely surrounded by love and support and care. Why is that? Because I'm a very loyal person. I do not throw people under the bus. I do not go out in the community gossiping about people. I don't get on my Facebook page and say nasty things about people. That is just not the way I roll. And so when I needed someone to stand with me, I was surrounded by help and support and people who stood there with me. Why? Because I had cultivated loyalty. And so listen to me. If you're going to finish 2019 strong, if you're going to have success in September, it's not a solo project. It's not about you doing you like you're the best only thing out there. You've got to cultivate relationships that will lead to opportunities. How do you do that? Number one, you got to look around you. Number two, you got to leverage. And number 3, you got to be loyal. You got to support. And so I hope this video has helped you. September Success. This is episode number 4. S, shift your mindset. U, uncover what's holding you back. C, of course, clarify what really matters. And then this C, cultivate healthy relationships. I'll tell you what, the best relationships that I have, some of the best relationships I have in my whole world right now is in the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program. Would you take a moment to check out the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise coaching program? You can check it out at leadershipwealth.org. That's leadershipwealth.org. I know these videos are a little longer than my usual sort of 2 or 3 minute video, but I really want to try to add value to you so that you can finish 2019 strong and you can have success in September, October, November, and December. And there's no better way to do it, in my view, than to connect with the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program. Again, check it out, leadershipwealth.org. We'll see you for episode number 5. Thanks, everybody.